Well, hey, Movement Clinic buddies. Welcome to today's tutorial on flying pigeon. My name is Emily, of course, and in order to do this, you are gonna need to be warm. I just filmed a nice sweaty class that was a flow based off of this, so that'll definitely help you get warm at launch today. Or you can just hop straight in here if you've already gotten warm with another practice and you're wanting to approach this. Either way, join me on your mat. Okay, common approach into this, at least for flying pigeon beginners, which I definitely consider myself to be, because there's much more advanced ways of coming into this. But for me, a standing figure 4 is sort of the most common sense entry level approach, right? So I'm gonna start with my right foot grounded, float my left knee to my chest, come into my standing figure 4. Now, the nice thing about this is that you're gonna know if this is even an accessible pose because you need quite open hips. So if as you come into your standing figure 4, as low as you can get is just barely softening your elbows onto that front calf, then you work here until the hips are open enough that you can slide those upper arm bones in front of that shin. Now I have my hands in prayer here. And big part of this here is to find that active pressing of the shin into the upper arms. Press the upper arm bones back into the shin. Wrap your toes around that opposite right tricep. We zip up the belly. We're kind of rounding the back to start, lifting the heart in between the shoulder blades. Now, sink your hips so much that you can land the hands. Of course, weight in the hands is important, so pointer fingers pointing forward-ish, root down through the L space of the thumb and forefinger. We have to go forward quite a bit in this so that we can float back foot. Now you might be here with the heel just squeezing to your butt. And that might be where you start, okay? So let's try that on the other side. And we're gonna do it one more time on each side. Maybe then trying to stretch that lifted leg out. Well, I'll stay here just so that you can see it from another angle. So left foot down, right ankle crosses on top of left thigh, standing figure 4. One side is always easier than the other. So, sink hips down, slide those arm bones in front of that right shin, press them into one another, find that active pushing of the shin back, pulling of the arms back into the shin, stretch heart forward. So this zipping up of the low belly, almost rounding the spine here, and then stretching the heart forward stays with us as we place weight in our hands, but we're starting to find that here. That push-pull of that shin stays even when we float. We wrap the right toes around that left tricep. Sink your hips low, plant your palms, start to play with putting weight in the hands. Now, shift forward, send weight forward, squeeze left heel to butt, press your shin into the upper arm bones, zip up low belly, lift heart into the back of the body, but stretch the heart forward. And slowly release. Shake it out. Whew. Okay. So that might be where you stay. If that's challenging enough for you, no need to move forward, okay? If you feel, I've been practicing that variation for a while, and I feel like I want to start trying to float that back foot back, wonderful. The key to that is to actively stretch out through the ball of the foot So powerful leg, powerful reaching out through the ball of the foot, especially the inseam of the leg. It's as though you could reach your inner groin through the big toe mound back behind you. This idea of inseam reaching out through the big toe mound will kind of help you to feel and create the engagement rather of the lift of the low belly, kind of engaging all of the core muscles that often can go a little soft here. And with that lifting and actively stretching, it forces you to squeeze your kneecap. It'll squeeze your butt a little bit. You can actually actively squeeze the butt so that you can feel it happening. All right, let's give it a go. I will tell you this much, my friends, this is never a guarantee for me. Some days I can stretch the leg back. Some days I can get it up really high. Some days it's more parallel to the earth. Take it for what it's worth and just play with it and stay curious, right? Maybe it's because you've already done a crazy class and you're fatigued and that's just where you're at. Maybe it's that your hips aren't very open. Maybe you're still working on arm balances. Who cares, right? Work with where you're at. Okay, let's go into this. Right leg down, left ankle crosses over top of right thigh. Flex your left foot. Come into that standing figure 4. Get those upper arm bones adjusted onto the shin. Maybe plant your fingertips as you start to move and adjust that shin where you want it on the arms. Wrap your toes around the right tricep, zip up low belly, hug your ribs into the back of the body. Find that sort of rounding of the upper back. Bend your knees so that you can plant your feet, come up onto the ball of the right foot. Shift forward, pressing your shin into the upper arm bones. Now maybe stretch back from inseam through that big toe mound. And then release. Whew. So there, today happened to be a lucky day on that side. Again, I also just recorded a class focused on this whole thing. So my body's super aware and active in doing all of these things in the moment. Let's try again. You can either try to float the leg, or maybe you recognize that as the whole one side easier than the other idea, that this is the side that you can float, or maybe you can't float the leg back and you're just really working on opening out that hip enough, okay? Always, always, always staying curious, not forcing, not gripping, not clenching, play with it, maybe even smile, and of course breathe. So right ankle crosses over top of left thigh. Low belly is zipped as we sink our hips back. I'll use my wall to help me balance here a little bit too. Slide your arm bones in front of that shin. Press arm bones and shin into one another. Toes are actively wrapping. We're lifting front of the body into the back of the body, kind of contracting and rounding the upper back. Stretch heart forward. Bend knees. Plant palms. Pointer fingers forward-ish. Start to shift weight forward. Float left heel towards butt. Reach from inseam through the big toe to send the leg back. Ooh. And I just slid off my upper arms. But that's all right. That's all part of it. So, play with where you're at. Maybe you're still working on getting those upper arm bones in front of the shin. Maybe you're still in that tucked position. Maybe you're starting to play with wobbly and shakily sending that foot behind you. Maybe it already feels strong. Either way, smile, breathe, stay curious, and play. I look forward to seeing you next time. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And check out the class for Flying Pigeon. Ciao for now.